Ik eich satini Johan gonalchish hati adi shtuqa khatati qanachaya wuch in khasati khalqi an kaya hayati shtakat uhan khatqa anchitki khatyati dana ina nika. Good to see you all. Thank you for coming here again. I'm grateful that we can be together today. We're all on beautiful lands. As for myself, I'm here in Anchorage on Dena'ina land and have a fun class for you today. So we'll jump right in. Cajun yagi, yagi, S'eek Dísi, Jin kat yagi, yawachi yadis. So it's Friday, February 10th. And today we'll start with a check-in. Any questions or comments you have from class, any questions or ways I can support you on your personal projects. Again, there's no deadline to start or complete your personal projects, but as I introduce more class activities to you, I encourage you to make them your own in your time outside of class, just to help you connect with your goals. I put together an activity from the beginning Tlingit workbook. Last term, we went through chapter 1A, and we'll wrap up that chapter and start to get ready to move on to our next. And then a couple weeks ago, I had a request for a template for a prayer that I had said in class, and I want to continue that conversation. So if there's time, today in class, we'll talk about some of the social context of prayer, when and why you'll hear it in native spaces, how to go about initiating prayer, respectful engagement with elders, and I'll share with you a couple templates of prayer. So just kind of an open discussion. Are there any comments or questions either on content from class so far or ideas you want to share about personal projects?
I have a question. Whenever I try to say certain words in Tlingit, I end up with a sore throat. Does that happen to anyone else?
Yeah. You get a sore throat?
Yeah, when I try to say the words that are further down, the sounds down in your throat.
Yeah.
I always end up with a sore throat.
Yeah. Like the underlined K's and X's and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if I'm doing something wrong because nobody else gets a sore throat, or is it just the way I am?
I love your question. No, it's fun. It's fun. Does anyone else experience that in this class? Seeing some head nods. Anyone want to talk about it? I experienced that too. Your throat and your voice is an instrument. So in the Tlingit language, you make use of a farther range in your instrument, whereas in English, most of your sounds are up here. In Tlingit, as you mentioned, you'll say ka, 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 and you are actually activating more muscles in your throat. And sometimes I think I can relate to that feeling. I notice after classes, sometimes I'll feel a little bit like, not sore throat in terms of like feeling sick, but kind of just tired, I guess, like the muscles are tired.
It's just very like the beginning of a sore throat. Like it's not really sore or anything.
Yeah.
It's irritated, I guess I could say.
Yeah.
And I've been drinking a lot and everything, but it doesn't always help.
Yeah. I would just say that's really interesting. It's cool that you're paying attention to your body and staying connected with it. I would just keep paying attention to it and kind of just see where it goes.
I'm hoping it'll get stronger, so
Mhm.
irritated.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to pay attention to my body. One time an elder, Grandma Rita Bloomstein, she was a Yupik elder and a traditional healer. And she told me that sometimes even an emotional blockage will cause constriction in your throat and then also in your lower abdomen. And it's just really interesting for me to think about all those things combined, like not to diagnose you or say what's going on with you, but for me personally, even if I don't know what's going on with myself, I'll just kind of take the, be open to different reasons for it.
I think I've just been speaking English too long.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is a good thing to our advantage because English is a very complicated language and Tlingit is very different from English and it's complicated in its own ways. So we're going from a very difficult language to another very sophisticated language. So it's just really good for your brain.
Okay, thank you.
Uh, Good question. Any more questions or comments? Okay.
Just a comment. My great grandma was a fluent speaker, and that was one thing she would say too. Like even as a fluent speaker, after doing a class or whatever, she would say, "My mouth is tired," and she would kind of be done. But so even for fluent speakers, going back and forth, they must kind of, it uses different parts of your mouth and your throat, and they get tired as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an excellent comment. We need to be mindful about that when we call on our elders to help us with language or to teach us and share their knowledge. Some good things it's good to do are always make sure they have water. Anytime we're collaborating with an elder or asking them to speak language, it's always good to ask them ahead of time, let them know what's needed ahead of time. And just be mindful because we get around elders who are fluent speakers and we just want to pick their brains all day, but as you mentioned, sometimes their mouths get tired, throats get tired. I love it. Good discussion. And last week we went over ideas for personal projects. I won't reiterate it today, but I'll kind of introduce another activity today that you can take home with you. Some of the project ideas we talked about are transcription, illustration with captions, if you like to draw, writing a personalized speech, studying a recorded speech, and then just making sure you have clan permission before reciting it, and self-introductions. So kind of jumping back into the beginning Tlingit workbook, we had some good momentum going last term, and then we've taken a few weeks off from this resource. And I want to jump back into it. Oh yeah, hot tea helps too. We had some comments in the chat about sore throats, hot tea, lots of water, vitamin C. And then, there's a suggestion for songwriting for personal projects. I think that's awesome too. That might be a fun discussion for the future is how we write songs. My family is Koyukon Athabaskan from Caltech, and I've had some fun discussions with my cousins about how we compose our songs and make the tunes. It'd be kind of fun to talk about Tlingit as well. So jumping into our beginning Tlingit workbook. So folks who are new this term, this first chapter we've gone over is called Dasaya, and you can find it in the beginning Tlingit workbook at this link I'll put in the chat. And you all can go ahead and open this link up just so you have a copy open. but you can access the beginning Tlingit workbook free online in PDF form. So I put the link to that in the chat. And let's jump back into these basic conversational phrases. So last week we left off with S'eek Kwasatin. And so we'll do a review. There's a little man walking toward a hand. That's to let you know when you see someone, you greet each other and you're saying hello. And then this other side is for when you're parting. It's not necessarily saying hello or goodbye. They're just greetings for a situation. So when you see somebody, and if it's good to see them, you can say this top line. So repeat after me. Lichéesh satini. Yeah. And so this W can throw people off sometimes. The tendency is to want to make another vowel there, ichwasa, but it's actually ichsa. So what you're doing is just rounding your lips while you breathe out that underline X. And so let's do just the I underline X W. So everyone repeat after me. Ich. Yep, it's nice and loose and kind of gravelly. You're just sort of gargling the moisture in the back when you do that underline X. And then you have rounded lips. So repeat after me again. Ich. There, I like that. And now you go straight into the sa. So adding sa, repeat after me. Ichsa.
Ichsa.
And then the whole word. Ichsatini.
Ichsatini.
Yeah. Now say the first word after me. Lichéesh. And the whole line. Lichéesh. Yeah. And I'm stressing the pronunciation with ichsatini because sometimes people will confuse it with a totally different greeting. When you're saying I'll see you again, you're saying I will see you. So ichsatini and lichéesh loosely means I saw you. And so you can see this underline X with the W, that's sort of to show I saw. So ichsatini. Now, if you look at S'eek ikwasatin, everyone repeat after me. S'eek ikwasatin.
S'eek ikwasatin.
Okay, this double K, the K followed by the underline K with the W. Now we're saying I will. So you're going from I saw you to I will see you. And it's important to distinguish those from each other because it changes the meaning completely. So repeat after me again, this first line, when you see somebody and it's good to see them, say, Lichéesh satini. And then when you're going to see them again, you're kind of saying goodbye. Repeat after me. S'eek ikwasatin. Yeah. And in this case, you do have a vowel after the W. So instead of ichsa, you're saying ikwasa. Yeah. Yeah. So one more time, this whole line, I'll see you again. S'eek ikwasatin. Yeah, okay, I like it. And any questions about those two? Okay, let's talk about some of the more of the greetings when you see somebody. I haven't used this one before, but I think it's fun. If you're asking somebody, is that you? Repeat after me. What aqua? One more time. Aqua.
Aqua.
Yeah. And you would probably respond, khataya.
Khataya.
Yeah. That's how I would respond. Yeah, it's me. Okay. This one I like. When I'm at language gatherings, I hear it all the time when we're in the kitchen. We've all stayed up all night. We're practicing Slinga. We've been talking, sharing stories with elders. And then in the morning we get up and we're pouring our coffee, and you'll say, it has dawned on us again, to acknowledge that it's morning. And so let's do this one. Repeat after me. Tsuha ka kewa'a.
Tuaka kewa'a.
Yeah. This TSU, you pronounce them both tsu. So repeat after me. Tsu. And next word is ha.
Ah.
And then ka. And then this next one is an underlined K. So you'll pronounce in the back of your throat. Kewa'a. So the whole line. Tsuha ka kewa'a.
Tuaka kewa'a.
And so when you're parting ways, let's start from the top. So ye ikwasatin.
Duye ikwasatin.
And a response to that can just be ah. Yeah. The next one, pretty similar situation. You would use this, like you're leaving class, you'll see each other again. Ye wushkach tustin. And then a more casual one, like later, is ziyagen. Yeah. Yeah. Or a variation of that, ziyagin.
Diyagin.
Yeah. Okay, let's practice the. So when I put my cursor at the phrase, go ahead and read it to me. And then if I ask you to repeat it, go ahead and repeat it. So Yungeywane, are you ready? Okay, Gook.
Ikhsatini.
Repeat after me. Ikhsatini.
Ikhsatini.
One more time. Aqua.
Aqua.
Okay, go ahead.
Tuaka kewa'a.
One more time. Tsuhaka kewa'a.
Tuaka kewa'a.
Okay, go ahead.
Duye ikwasatin.
Repeat after me. Tsuye ikwasatin.
Duye ikwasatin. Ewushkachtutin.
Yeah, this X should be a little more gravelier in the back of your throat. So repeat after me. Yewushkach tustin.
Yevushka tustin.
Okay. And this last one.
Dejagen.
Dejagen. Dejagin.
Okay. And again.
Lichéesh satini.
Okay, Satini.
I like it. Okay, go ahead.
S'eek satin.
Tuye equastin.
Yeah. Okay, one more time. Lichéesh satini.
Yake.
Lichéesh satini.
And S'eek kwasatin.
S'eek satin.
Okay. And you sound good in your pronunciation. So we're going to continue on to greeting and response drills. And this time we're going to practice. I'll say a phrase to you and y'all can respond. So we'll go through it a couple times. The reason I like to do greeting and response drills is that as adult learners, if we're in a situation where we're speaking Tlingit to each other, we can get caught up on the fact that we're speaking a second language. And drills help you overcome that barrier by making it second nature to respond. So for greetings, if I say Lichéesh satini, we can talk about it first. What are some of the things you might say if someone says Lichéesh satini? You could, yeah, you could say I'm good. Someone's telling you it's good to see you. And so one thing that I've heard elders say, if I say Lichéesh satini to an elder, I've heard her respond before by saying Lichéesh. So repeat after me, Lichéesh. Yeah. Another thing you could say is Wa'atsa Lichéesh satini.
Lichéesh satini.
Yeah. What does that mean? Does anyone know?
It's good to see you
Good
too.
to see you too.
Yeah. I'm gonna write it so that
Yeah.
everyone's familiar with it.
I need to see it.
Yeah. Good. Okay, good. I'm glad we
Is it
Alright.
TSU? No?
say that
Because
again.
I was thinking to reply like you too.
Yeah.
Achtsu.
That's close. So what is you as well.
That was the other one I was thinking because we say wa'e ku'a.
Yeah. Yeah, that's excellent recognition. And I love what you're doing right now. You're pulling from your memory. Where have I seen this before? What meaning can I pull?
My thinking in Tlingit is on.
Yeah.
It's like there's a little switch that's been knocked up a little bit. And I think has to do with your teaching, to be honest.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I really like how you go and you get us to look at like the end of a sentence and break it down and go to the beginning and then move forward with it. And that's really been helping me retain information.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I think I copied that from Pimsleur when I was in high school. I used to rent language CDs from the library, and I think I heard them doing that, and I've always done it with languages. So I'm glad it's helpful to you. Okay, so I'll say the top line and let's practice the response first. Everyone repeat after me. Wa'atsa Lichéesh satini.
Lichéesh satini.
Yeah. So now I'll say the top line and y'all can respond. Lichéesh satini.
Satini.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this next one, does anybody remember Tsuhaka Kewa'a? What does it mean?
Day has dawned
Dawned on us again.
Yeah, owa. So if somebody says Tsuhaka Kewa'a, I would probably say it back. So, but I would probably add
What is it? What's Suha? How does that translate?
The Tsuhaka Kewa'a is a morning greeting and it means it has dawned on us again.
Suhaka.
Tuhaka. Kewa'a.
Yeah. Yeah, and that Kewa'a is underlined K, so it's in the back of your throat. So it's Kewa'a.
Kewa'a.
Okay, so this time I'll greet you and you can just respond with Tsuhaka Kewa'a. So Tsuhaka Kewa'a.
Suhaka Kewa'a.
Yeah. Okay, does anyone remember the meaning from what aqua?
Is that you?
Later.
Yeah, that one is that you?
Oh, is that you? Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Is that you? So how might we respond to this one?
No, I'm somebody else.
Hi. So if you're joking, why not? Like if you're joking, why not just say no? Like or if you're I want to ask Rene. We were gonna meet this week and talk about these, but he wasn't able to come, but we will ask him some of the what's a funny response to this. You could say khataya. Okay. What aqua?
Khataya.
Yeah. If it's dark and they actually can't see you, you could say your name. Okay. So what does this one mean?
See you again
Yeah, see you again. And
down the road or something like that.
yeah,
Up the road?
it just means I'll see you again. And so a short one, if you're in a hurry and you're rushing out the door, you can just say or if you want, you can repeat the whole line back. Let's do so tsiye iqwasatin. Yeah. Yewushkachtustin, same thing.
Would it be appropriate to respond with Siagan to these as well?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, you could totally respond with Ziagan. So if we take Ziagan, we can copy this one up there. Oops. Let me see if that, oh, here we go. So let's do Ziagan. And then we'll practice all these so that they become second nature. Yewushkachtustin.
Evushkach Dustin.
Mhm. And then you could respond Ziyagan.
Yagen.
And then same thing down here. This could be a same response too. So let's practice this one. Ziyagan.
Yagen.
And just to drill them into our memory, let's practice them all. So again, I'll just read the top and y'all can respond with the bottom line. Lichéesh Satini. Suhaka Kewa'a.
Suhaka Kewa'a.
Wa'akwa.
Khataya.
Lichéesh. I love it. So yeah, Kwasatin. Yewushkach Tustin.
Yagen.
Ziyagan. Okay.
That's the cool when you say, see you later.
Yeah. Yep. So let's do an activity. We're gonna make a short dialogue using the phrases in the beginning Tlingit workbook. So we have some options here amongst the basic conversational phrases. We have some greetings. We have a few ways of acknowledging that we'll see each other again. There are also this question, how are you doing? Repeat after me. Wasa iyati. And let's go through the responses. Yak-eh. Ach tuwu yak-eh. Ach tuwu sigu. Shtuqa khattati. Okay. And then the question again. Wasa iyati.
Yeti.
Or if we have inland speakers, Masa iyati. And then responses.
What was the difference there?
Oh yeah, thank you for asking. So in the Teslin area, in some instances, instead of a W for wa, you'll hear an M for ma. You'll hear it in verbs as well, and there is a pattern where you can predict that wa, the W will turn into an M. And Khone has good information about it, so we can ask him. Yeah, are there any inland speakers in this class that want to add to that?
I can't add to it, but I'm from Carcross, so I probably speak similar to Tesla.
Oh, cool, yeah. Okay.
That's inland. Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard my grandma in recordings say masa iduasak instead of wasa.
I love it. Yeah. Some of my favorite inland speakers are Lichéesh, Sam Johnson, and Lichéesh Besikuli. I like listening to them speak. Awesome. Today in our Tlingit and Haida class at noon, we have a guest speaker who's gonna bring representation of inland Tlingit to our class. And so, yeah, if you can come, you should come. I'll give you the link. And if not, it'll be recorded and put on YouTube. So you can always watch it later if you're not able to come at noon. So some of the responses. So the first column was like, we're feeling great, we're feeling good. This one is just sort of, we're okay, this mid-center column. So repeat after me. Tlechwasa.
Wasa.
And then that's short for so you can repeat this whole line after me. Tlechwasa chet ute. Yeah. And then this next one. Chechetaya.
Ataya.
Chushugo.
Tushugu.
Tushuku.
This next one I haven't heard before, but let's practice it. Chawas. Okay, if things are not so great, here are some responses as well. So let's do the question. Wasa iati. Tesh ushka. And then tesh chat tushka. And tesh ach tushka. And chatu dechwet. And so this underline X in chat should sound different from this regular rounded X in chet. So it'll be chat and chet. So repeat after me. Chatu dechwet. Yeah. Any questions on those?
The last one's very difficult for me.
Okay. Thank you for sharing with us. So let's talk about this last one. And when I come across a new phrase that's difficult for me, one thing I like to do is spend some time with it and kind of look at the different parts. So for chatu dechet, it's pretty different from anything we will say in English in terms of the sounds that are together. So looking at this last syllable, this X, W, high tone E, T, L. Let's practice that one starting with the X. One more time. One more time. Yeah, this XW is up in the front of your mouth. It's like you're just making a little bit of friction so you can hear the wind coming between the roof of your mouth and the top of your tongue. And then you're also rounding your lips. So it kind of sounds like when someone's making a cappuccino, that. So repeat after me that last syllable again. Wet. Yeah. And then this first part, would de. Yeah. Okay, so the whole last word, would de wet. One more time. Would de wet. And then the first, yeah. And then the first word is chat. It's nice, loose, gravelly, rolling of the moisture in the back of your throat. Yeah. The whole line. Chatwidechwetl. Now I'm going to ask you how you are, and I want you to respond. Chatwidechwetl. Wasayiyati. Okay. Did that help?
Yes, thanks very much. That
Uh,
seems overwhelming.
yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because we all go through that when we're starting out. The transition to making the sounds of Tlingit, like we mentioned, is so different from English that if it feels like like the waves are rolling over me, I'm getting overwhelmed, just slow down and take your time. Remember to breathe. I do this all the time, especially if I have to read a speech or practice something in public. I try to spend time with words that are overwhelming till I get more familiar with them.
What was really helpful for me, because if you do it in English, phonetically, you do wudich, but when you separate it to XWETL, it made all the difference for my pronunciation. So thank you. And I guess it's just a matter of being familiar with the words, because that's where I was struggling too. But once you put the X and W together, it makes it much easier, at least for me.
Okay.
So the TL at the end, the L is silent, right? Sort of.
Thank you for asking that. That's a good question. So in Tlingit, there's what we call a voiceless L, or I hear elders calling it a Tlingit L. And it's voiceless, but it's not silent. So those terms can kind of get confusing. In English, we have silent letters. So for example, in the word height, there's a silent GH in the middle of the word, where we just basically skip it. We just don't make a sound during the GH. That's a silent letter, but in Tlingit, there's a voiceless L. And the reason it's different is that you're not activating your voice box, but you are still making a sound. And so, huet. So if there was no L, if it just was huet, you hear that the word end at the T, huet, but we actually continue to breathe out that friction with the voiceless L. So everyone repeat after me. Huet. Yeah, I can hear it when you say it. The L, the Tlingit L is to pronounce it, you put the tip of your tongue on the back of your teeth, just like you're saying it an English voiced L. Only instead of activating your voice box, repeat after me. You're just going to breathe out the sound. So just repeat after me. Yeah. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, thank you very much. That's really
good. Yeah. So let's do a little note of our discussion for pronunciation. Some of the things that we shared were seemed overwhelming. What helped is breaking it down by syllable. And then, so for example, when I started learning, we were in person, so I was on a paper notebook, but I'll type an assimilation of what that was. So for chet, I'll zoom in because it's kind of small. For chet with the chet, I might with the chet. I might break this down with a slash in my notes. Chet with the chet. I love it. There's a comment in the chat that says, how would we say forever tired? I'll have to ask around. If a word seems overwhelming, it can be helpful sometimes to break it down by syllable and just practice one at a time. Okay, so we want to make a really short dialogue using the phrases that we saw. So looking at our options, what kind of things could we say? So we have lines here for person A and person B. We'll just do a really short 3-line dialogue. So person A might say what?
It's good to see you.
Yeah,
Hey, what? I can't say that.
you can do it. Yeah, let's repeat it together. I'm gonna zoom in so it'll be easier.
Okay.
So everyone repeat after me. Lichéesh satini. Yeah. So that's our line, our first line. Lichéesh satini. And yeah, how might somebody respond to that? Yeah, okay, good memory. So let's copy our response from earlier. You too, it's good to see you. So let's practice these 2 lines all together. First one, repeat after me. Lichéesh satini. Wa'at lichéesh satini. And then any ideas for our next line?
Wasa'iati.
Okay, I love it. Wasa'iati. So they want to ask, how are you doing? And then let's do another one so we can have a response since we asked a question. What might a good response be?
I'm grateful. Shutuga. Diti.
Okay, I love it. So everybody repeat after me. Shtuqa khattati. One more time. Shtuqa khattati. Okay. So we have a sound here, a word that's pretty similar to another word. So we have diti, and that's different from yati. So the yati is ya, it's yati. In this phrase, it's diti. So repeat after me, just this last word, diti.
Diti.
And the whole line, shtuqa khattati. Yeah, oh wow. Okay, it sounds good. Oops. So shtuqa khattati. All right, so we have person A and person B, and we'll color code them so they're easy to tell the difference. And the whole thing, let's practice all the lines together, line by line. Repeat after me. Lichéesh satini. Wa'ata Lichéesh Satini.
وإسا
Lichéesh
إخستيني
Wasa'iyati.
وسائيتي
Iati.
Shtuga Khatati.
شتوغا خطتي
Hatati.
T.
Yeah. Does anybody want to volunteer to be person B with me?
I'll try.
Awesome. Lichéesh Satini.
Wa'esu Lichéesh Satini.
Wasa'iyati.
Shtuga Khatati.
Yay, I love it.
Very good.
Awesome job. Anybody else?
I'll try it.
Okay. Lichéesh Satini.
Wa'etsa yake ichwasatini.
Wasa'iyati.
Shatuka chatati.
Okay. Awesome.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I saw Hune this morning, and so I said, wasaiati. I said wasaiati, and then he said back to me, and you, but I didn't understand that and you, and so I had to ask him what he just said, and I said, oh, yake. But how do you say and you?
Yeah.
He said it really fast, and I just couldn't catch it.
I gotcha. That's totally, that happens all the time. So let's break it down. Okay, so you said wasa'iyati? What was the first?
Yeah. Wasaiati. Yes.
Okay. Wasa'iyati. And then he responded probably.
Yake. And then and you, but I missed it, and I just stared at him blankly for a moment, and then had to say, I don't know what you just said to me.
That is so relatable. I feel like that's such a
I was like embarrassed, but
I do that all the time, especially when I don't want to break into English. Sometimes I'll just stare and go blink, blink, you know.
that's what I did. Like I should know this.
Yeah, it's all right. So the first question was, how are you? And then he said, good. And you? And so how would you respond knowing now what this means?
Yake aktu sugu.
Awesome. Good. I feel happy. And so this was the line that may have tripped you up. Let's all practice it together. Everyone repeat after me. Wa'eqa'a. Yeah. It just means as for you, kind of like and you. What is like when I look at you as one person and I see you as a being, what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing you. What yeah. Okay, so you want to practice this one with me, Cheryl? This dialogue we just made?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, I'll be Khane, so you can be person A.
Okay. Wasaiati.
Ike wa'eqa'a.
Yake aktu sugu.
Yeah, I love it.
Very nice.
Now you're prepared. That is such a big part of Tlingit language study is, okay, we had a conversation, I dropped the ball somewhere, now I'm going to go home and practice it, and then I'll be ready for the next time. I'm glad you shared that. Okay, are there any questions about this activity? Okay, pretty straightforward. The reason we're doing it is that anytime you're learning new words, vocabulary, phrases, I want you to get in the habit of putting it toward conversation. So one thing I've always been adamant about in my own language learning with Tlingit is, how do I use this? And so taking things like conversational phrases and saying, okay, how can I put these together to express myself, greet people, ask how they're doing, and then kind of internalize the pattern so that it's second nature to respond, so that we can kind of keep the volley going. Like if conversation is a game of volleyball, how do we keep it going? Okay, we're at time, but I will put the links I was going to share with you in the chat. The reason I brought up prayer this time is that it came up again in a study group I host on Wednesdays. And one of my classmates in Tlingit and my study buddies has stepped up a little bit in her language learning journey, where the Alaska State Legislature has asked her, we want to have more Native representation next week. It's Elizabeth Pradovich week. And will you offer a prayer in the legislature? And she said yes. And so when I met with her, she was like, okay, this is the research I did. These are the prayers I found. How do I make this my own? And how do I make it applicable to the legislature? So I want to give this the time it deserves to talk about, but essentially I would say what she did, we worked on it together and we made a draft, and she applied it to her context. So she's applying it to Alaska House leaders. She's asking for their blessing. In her situation, she's addressing multiple powers that I usually address as well when I'm calling on somebody for help. Creator, Heavenly Father, everything we have been, are, and will be, our ancestors. I regularly call on my ancestors for help anytime I have to do something difficult or I need clarity of mind. And so what I love about what she did is she made this applicable to the situation. So wanting to bring the intention of, let people be clear-minded, let them listen to each other, let them be in harmony on our land. And then we worked on that in study group, and then she took it to class, and her classmates and her professor Rene helped her edit it to make sure it was all grammatically correct. So the student I'm talking about is Kus'in Jakipeda. On Monday, February 13th, she'll be giving this prayer in the legislature, and just I just feel really proud of her. But we'll continue this conversation next week, and I'll give you a copy to read on your own if you're interested.
Anna, do you know what floor she'll be on and what time? I'm the president of the Alaska Native Sisterhood Camp 2, the camp of Elizabeth, and I would like to be there and represent and be in proper wear. We will also be having a gravesite service that day, and then I'm looking into UAS and what they might be doing so that we can have presence there as well.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Can you put your email in the chat and I could send it to her and ask her to reach out to you?
I sure can.
Okay.
I gotta find the right email.
All good.
That looks beautiful, what she's put together.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay, so we have a request for her name to put on the document. I'll put it on the title here. And she told me we could share this in class. She's she's happy about it. So draft prayer for legislature. And then her name is Christine Jackie Peta. Okay, did I get your email yet?
No, because I got a new email address for that position I just told you about.
Okay,
So
I'll
I
put
can
mine.
find out exactly what it is.
That's okay. I'll put mine in the chat and you want to just email me and then I'll connect you too.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, it's in the chat. You can grab it when you're ready. And we're at time. So thank you for being with me. I'll see you again.
Sheesh.
Yay,
Sheesh.
Kasatini. Queen.
I'll email you.
Okay, goodness cheese.
Thank you.